Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode with Cooking with Alethea. Today I'm going to be making white bean seafood chili and sweet potato biscuits with honey butter. Yum yum. So it's going to be a two-part series. The first part I'm going to make the biscuits. Go ahead and make the biscuits. The sweet potato biscuits. So we have 2 cups, the ingredients are 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. We have, I think it's 1 teaspoon or half a teaspoon of salt. I'm doing this on memory. We have 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 or 2 teaspoons of sugar, and you mix that together. Those dry ingredients get mixed together. And then we have our half a cup of sweet potatoes, mashed sweet potatoes. So for that, you're going to use 2 sweet potatoes, 2 small to medium-sized sweet potatoes. You're going to cut them, peel them, cut them up, rinse them off, put them in a pot like you're making mashed potatoes. Let them boil, and then until they get real soft, you know, mash them up. After that, you drain them. Drain the water off of them. That helps. Drain the water off of them. I'm going to mash them up, and that makes about 2 sweet potatoes. Going to make about a half a cup of your mashed sweet potatoes. And then you have 3/4 cup of milk. So you're going to mix your mashed sweet potatoes, half a cup, and 3/4 cups of milk together. You're going to set that aside. You're going to use, I think it's 1/3 cup of butter. And what I do is I put that in the freezer to get it nice and frozen. And then we're going to take our grater, and you're going to grate the butter into your dry ingredient flour mixture. Okay, so when you're going to mix it all up. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. I'm by myself today, so camera quality might not be at its best. But hey, give me an A for effort because I'm trying. So if you like this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe to this channel, Cooking with Alethea. I'm going to be making lots of healthy treats and dishes for you during this summertime that's approaching. Right now we're in spring, so we'll be making spring and summer dishes to come. So stay tuned for some exciting menus and ideas. So hopefully you guys can pass along or try yourself. So I'm going to put the camera down right now. Like I said, I'm by myself today. I'm going to put the camera down, and I'm going to get started with the making of our sweet potato biscuits. So here's the flour mixture that I told you. 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar. Mixed together in here, okay? On the side here we have our frozen butter, the grater. And then now I am going to take our butter, right? Your hands are clean. It's very important. And we're going to take our butter and we're going to grate it into the flour mixture. Okay, frozen butter. It helps that your butter is frozen because it's going to help your biscuit mixture to, you know, poof up in the oven. All right. Try not to grate your hands or your fingers, all right? That's it. So look at that. It looks like grated cheese if you look at the consistency of it. You don't want to mess with it too much because it can, I stepped away, it can make a, you know, too much mixing of the butter can melt quickly into your flour mixture. Okay, in the background you hear my oven going off because it's ready. It's set at 450 because the biscuits are going to go into the oven at 450. Bake at 450 for about 10 to 12 minutes, all right, depending on your oven. So we mix that up somewhat here with butter into our flour mixture. Now I am going to take the sweet potato mixture, like I said, half a cup of mashed sweet potatoes and 3/4 cups of milk. We're going to put it into our flour mixture here. We're going to mix this up well. You can use a big spoon, bigger spoon, spatula, whatever you have. Well, not spatula, but, you know, whatever you have to mix up. I should have a bigger spoon. So once you get this all together, incorporated, we're going to take it onto a lightly floured surface. And we're going to roll it a little bit, and then we're going to cut the biscuit shapes and then put it onto your greased baking sheet or greased pan. Alright, we don't want to do it too much because we have those butter pieces in here. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands and lightly flour my surface. I will take our dough mixture, plop it onto the surface here, knead it a little bit. Might need a little bit more flour depending on how much flour you put down. That's my washing machine you hear, guys. I'm multitasking today. Today is Saturday. We multitask. Alright, so we're going to need a little bit more flour. Just a little bit, because my dough is a little bit sticky here. So just a little bit more flour on my hands too. And that's about good. Alright. That's about good there. Now, I'm going to take this to the side. I'm going to bring my baking pan over here that has the parchment paper down. I got my rolling pin. I'm going to roll this out, all right? Not too thin. When I'm making biscuits, I don't roll mine out real thin because I like the biscuits, you know, nice and plump there. Cutters, but we have our biscuits, biscuit cutters, okay? And I'm getting this size, so it's going to make shapes, circle shapes. If you don't have biscuit cutters or cookie cutters, whatever you call them, you can use the, hey, I grew up using like the lid, or you can use the glass, you know, the top of the glass part there, round part that we put our lips on. You can use that to make your biscuit cutouts, okay? Like I said, we're going to bake at 450 for 10 to 12 minutes. And this is how it looks. This is how close you want them. Because they all going to rise together, look like one almost. All right. And this makes 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 or 10 biscuits. Here I have 9. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and I will be back and show you the final results of our sweet potato biscuits today. Okay, guys, we're back, and here are the final results of our sweet potato biscuits with honey butter on them. They're very delicious, and what I did was I went ahead while they were in the oven and I melted some butter in my little dish here, and I squeezed about, I don't know, maybe 2 tablespoons of honey in this, and then went ahead and microwaved it for a few seconds. Then when it was done, when it came straight out the oven, I brushed the tops with the honey butter. And these are very delicious. I had a little side, you know, took a little piece off of one. And they're very, very, very delicious. So this is the final results of the sweet potato biscuits with honey butter. This is step 1. Now we're going to go to step 2 with the making of our white bean seafood chili. Okay, first we have the ingredient we have is olive oil. Okay, we have our white chicken chili mix, but we're not going to be using chili. We're not going to be using chicken today. We're using the ingredients in here for the white chicken chili. Okay, we have our minced garlic, fresh minced garlic. We have our roasted corn. We got that from Trader Joe's. Okay, and this roasted corn is very good. We have our 1 can of navy beans, white navy beans. We have our 1 can of cream of chicken soup. We have pepper, my staple seasonings, adobo, parsley, oregano. We have garlic powder. minced onion, we have Italian seasoning, Celtic salt, we have our avocado, that's going to go on last. We have our, we have our shrimp here, one package of raw shrimp. We have, I cut up and I went ahead and seasoned it before time, a couple hours before time, so it can marinate in the seasonings, which is these staple seasonings here, and some fresh garlic. We have 2 pieces of tilapia fish that I cut up in small cubes. You can use more fish. You can use swai fish. I was going to use swai fish, but I didn't have it. I had tilapia, and I had a couple of pieces left, so I went ahead and just cut that up. You can use more or a different type of fish if you want. We have our vegetables cut up here, our mushrooms. We have our carrots, our broccoli, and our mixed peppers. We have our onions, and we also have a couple of green onions cut up, diced up here. And we have our big pot here, presentation pot. And on the other pot cooking, the side small pot, we have brown rice cooking. That's going to be part of our dish also. So I'm going to set you guys up, and we're going to get started with the sauteing of our vegetables here and the shrimp. Okay, guys, we're back. Set you guys up so you don't fall. Fingers crossed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in the vegetables in here. I like, when I'm making my chili, I like to start out with clean hands. When I'm making my chili, I like to saute my vegetables just a little bit, just to get, to get it started a little bit here. So I put all the vegetables that I just showed you and told you, I put them in here. And then in a minute or two, I'm going to add my onions, my onion mixture in here. With the making of chili, there's many different variations. You can make it as healthy as you want, or you can make it as non-healthy as you want. But I like to choose to make it as healthy, and better, better for me and my family. So I try to incorporate different type of variations of chili when I'm making it. So this is one variation for the dish today. I like to use, when I cook, I like to use a lot of vegetables, in cooking. When you change your lifestyle, eating lifestyle, to a healthy eating lifestyle, your foods don't have to be bland, blah, or boring. You can create them to how you like them. You can use your seasonings. It's all different types of seasonings. It's not just salt and pepper or Celtic salt and pepper. You can go beyond that. There's so much out there that you can make your healthy dishes come to life and enjoyable for you as well as your family. Don't be afraid to try this with kids, because you never know. That little ingredient in there can change the whole taste for them, and they'll be like, this is really good. So never be afraid to experiment when you eating healthy. So, okay, so we have this on medium fire, and the vegetables are in here like I said. I'm going to go ahead and maybe turn it up just a little bit. I have olive oil, like I said, in here cooking or simmering. So I want to show you guys, again, I said I'm by myself today, so just bear with me. I just want to show you a little bit of the vegetables here, if you can see that. Alright, I'm going to put this back to the fire. Our rice is over here cooking. Also, when I make my dishes and it calls for rice, I like to use brown rice. I don't eat white rice. Only time I eat white rice is if I'm making like rice pudding, which I might make that maybe once a year, That's when I use my white rice. But jasmine rice is also good for rice pudding too. But like for my dishes that, it calls for rice, I usually use brown rice, which is, is healthier for you. Also, with your chili, you can use mashed potatoes if you want. Potatoes are fine. You just, everything in moderation. That's the key. You can also use mashed sweet potatoes. I was going to use that today, but since I went ahead and used my sweet potatoes for my biscuit recipe, I just chose to, put on a pot of brown rice for this here. But you can use mashed sweet potatoes, and that's healthy too. So like I said, you are in control of what you eat and create. So don't be afraid to get into the kitchen. Making homemade dishes only takes minutes. Your prep work for making your homemade dishes is what takes a little bit longer. But the cooking time on certain things, healthy dishes, takes little to no time at all. So don't be afraid to get into the kitchen and experiment. So I'm going to go ahead now and put in my onions, the green onions, and I used a whole onion, all right? I used a whole onion and I cut that up, and then I used a couple of stems of the green onion, and I went ahead and chopped that up. Now, if you want, you can save that green chopped onion or at the end. After you plate your dish, you can sprinkle the green onion on top if you want. But today I'm just putting it in the pot. Today I'm calling this also everything into the pot dish. So this is another quick, meal. Quick meaning that you don't have to be like, oh, I gotta cook the meat. Okay, put that to the side. Make my starch, my potatoes or rice. Put that to the side. Let me do my vegetables. Put that to the side. No, everything is into the pot. Everything nutritious and delicious is into the pot today for you. So we're going to let this, simmer for maybe about 2-3 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and show you the next step to this. Okay, now that this has been cooking about 2 or 3 minutes, the vegetables here, I am going to add my corn. I forgot to add the corn in here. So I don't think I'm going to add the whole bag of corn. You can put as much corn in here as you like in your chili. Let me go ahead and see what. I guess that's about a half a bag that I added in here of this roasted corn. And again, I got that from Trader Joe's. I'm going to mix that up. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in my seasonings here, which I am going to use my crushed garlic, probably use the rest of that. Okay, that's the rest of that. It's crushed garlic, and that's very potent because it's crushed and it's potent. Garlic is potent anyway. Okay, I'm mixing that in with that, and next I'm going to put in here my parsley. Just a little. My littles are a little. And this is oregano. I'm putting oregano in here. Like I said, experiment with your seasonings. That's how you create. You never know. You'd be like, wow, I didn't know that tastes like that. I'm going to use Italian seasoning because I like Italian seasoning. I always say I'm part Italian. Don't know. You never know. And a little bit garlic powder. We already used crushed garlic, but I'm just putting a little bit more garlic powder in here. And as this is cooking down, you can taste it. I'm using minced onion. As this is cooking down, you can also taste it, and you might want to put a little bit more garlic powder in there, whatever. And a little bit of pepper. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to mix this up. Alright. Once we get that together, I am going to add in the white chicken chili mix. We're not using chicken, but this is called white chicken chili mix, okay? Okay, now we're adding in the can of navy beans. Now, I am going to show you the rest of the ingredients I'm putting in here, which was the white navy beans I put in here, mixing that together, and a can of cream of chicken soup that I'm putting in here. Also, with this, I'm going to add a can of water in with this. Alright, mix that all together. I'm going to get a can of water. I will be right back. 1 can or 1 cup of water. ready. 1 can of water, okay? And with this, I'm going to mix this all together. I'm going to show you how this is looking in a second. And you're going to cook this down for about, I say about half hour, because it's just vegetables in here. But in the meantime, while this is cooking, I say the last 10 minutes of it, we're going to put in our shrimp, and then we're going to mix that in, and then we're going to put in our, the last 10 minutes of it, we're going to lay our, the fillets of the tilapia on top of this, and just let it, you know, simmer down a little bit for the last 10 minutes of it. Because tilapia fish is, you know, it's a thin fish, so it doesn't take long to cook. So you don't want to cook the mess out of that. I'm going to go ahead and put in our shrimp, which I said I seasoned it a couple hours ago with my seasonings, garlic powder, Celtic salt, and, you know, pepper and parsley and oregano and Italian seasoning. I went ahead and seasoned that and let it just marinate in that in the fridge. So I went ahead and put the shrimp in, and I'm getting ready to show you how this is looking now. You're going to turn it down on low heat, and you're going to let this cook for about a half hour. But 10 minutes before it's done, you're going to put your fish pieces all on top here. And then you let it finish cooking for the last 10 minutes of it. And I'll be back to show you the final presentation. But before I do, let me show you how it's looking in our pot. Okay, that's how it's looking in our pot. And here's the final presentation of everything. We have our white bean seafood chili bowl here with the shredded cheddar cheese on top and the sliced avocado. We have our homemade sweet potato biscuits and our bowl of sweet potato biscuits here, plate of them. And this is the final presentation of everything. And like I said before, you know, when you're eating healthy or changing it onto a healthy eating lifestyle, it don't have to be bland, blah, or boring. You make it how you make it. You choose your herbs and spices, and that's how you create your own dishes to your liking. So this is a very healthy recipe, and I encourage everyone to try it or pass it on, like I said. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel, Cooking with Alethea. I will see you next time with some more yummy treats. Happy eating, everybody, and have a blessed weekend.